Hello, everyone. My name is Krishana Barron, and I am the HR assistant at Essex Consulting LLC. Today, we're going to be doing a Q&A to give you a little bit more insight on what Essex Consulting does, the services that we provide, and how we're able to collaborate with businesses to achieve their business goals. So today, I have Ms. Stephanie Hodge, the CEO, founder, and principal consultant of Essex Consulting, and she's going to be answering those questions today.
Hi, thank you for that introduction. I look forward to talking about the company. I talk about it all the time.
It's exciting. Well, we have a lot of good things to talk about here. So the first thing I want to ask you is, what does an HR consulting firm do?
That's a loaded question. So we do a lot of different things. It really depends on what the needs of our clients are. But our main focus is helping our clients and businesses to achieve their goals. So whatever people-related functions require them to achieve their goals, we help them. So it could be employee relations, helping them and their managers with working with their employees. It could be benefits administration. We help with that as well. We also help to coach and train managers and employees. We have a number of different training modules that we can deliver. So we do a bunch of different things really to help organizations be more stable, to help their employees be more comfortable in the work environment. We help with compliance issues. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. Just a lot of creating a lot of opportunities for organizations to thrive through their people. That's what we assist with.
Okay, so I think you mentioned it a little bit, but can you really tell us what the full benefits of HR outsourcing could be?
Absolutely. What's interesting is a number of clients that we work with, we work with them because they don't have an HR team, right? And so they're just starting to understand, hey, I need some help in developing a handbook. Maybe I might need a policy. And so the benefits of working with an HR outsourcing company or HR consulting firm, because we do more than outsourcing. So as an HR consultant firm, the benefit of working with us is really making sure that you have the things in place that make your company legally compliant. And so we help you figure what those things are, figure that out. So the real true benefit is your employees are more engaged because we're helping you to identify how to keep your employees engaged. We help to develop your employees, and we also help you manage certain issues within your organization. So there's definitely true benefit for a company to rely on the expertise that we have in our organization to really help them to be successful and achieve their goals.
Okay, so would you say in any way that it could increase profit or revenue?
Yeah, it's funny because it's difficult to measure HR productivity like you can with sales, right? But the things to think about is when you build in certain processes and policies and you have those things in place, you're potentially reducing your employee turnover, and you're also reducing potential employment lawsuits. So when you think about the savings there, that's really important. There are also ways to save the organization costs. So we look at benefits administration is one of our functions. So we can come in and help an organization look at their benefit provisions, right? Match those up to what their employees really want, but also figure out how do we deliver this cost effectively, right? So how do we save the organization dollars and still keep employees engaged and happy? And so we help managers figure that out and help leaders make decisions that will save the organization money. So that's really how you can measure the value of HR services.
Okay. So how do I identify if I need HR outsourcing? If a company, how does the company even begin to know if that could be a service that they could truly benefit from?
Absolutely. That's a good question. And we really help companies figure that out through having conversations. So we do a free consultation with business leaders to talk about what their goals are. We want to talk about what challenges are you having in your organization? Where would you like your people to be, right? How would you like them to be performing? And so we talk about all of those things and tailor solutions to help organizations meet the specific goals for their organization. And so it's just a conversation. Sometimes there are things that we can assist with, and sometimes we have to suggest that maybe it's not the right time for that. Let's push that out sometime in the future. So these consultations aren't like sales calls. They're really solution focused to figure out, is there a fit? Is there a way for us to help you to meet a particular need? And whether it's now or whether it's later, but it builds our network. We're building strong relationships with other businesses. So it's win-win for us because we're building those relationships, but it's also win for the clients or prospective clients because sometimes you just need a sounding board. Here's what's happening in my organization. Is there anything I can do about that? And we can kind of talk you through that.
Okay. So you mentioned that a company could seek outsourcing if they don't have an HR team, but what happens if a company does have an HR team? Are they still able to benefit from working with your firm?
Excellent question. What's interesting, we get this question a lot, and we work really well with other HR teams. We're all in this together. So the benefit of a company or an HR team that is already mature and exists is you're able to bring in a different level of expertise, outside knowledge. So we bring solutions we've brought to other companies, and we're able to share best practices. Here's how this is done, at this company and this company. Maybe we can find a blended solution for your team. So what we like to do is really support HR teams in the background and really help them shine in the forefront. So an HR team can really benefit from using us, also because there's a lot to get done, and a lot of our HR teams are stretched really thin, and they are managing day-to-day HR operations, which makes it really difficult to execute on initiatives that they've been sort of dreaming about, aspiring to get done. And we can come in and help you get those or help them get those initiatives done. So it really makes them the rock star because their goals are being achieved and they're still running operations smoothly. So we can come in and help an HR team really shine.
Okay. So why would a company need policies and procedures in place?
Oh my goodness. Whether you have 2 employees or 200 employees, the true basis of effective people management is having policies in place so that you're treating people consistently and fairly. Um, so having policies and procedures in place, they really reduce the opportunity for unintended bias, for disparate action. And so these are things that you don't do intentionally, but because you don't have a process in place, you inadvertently are doing some things that could be against the law. And so we help companies and their leadership figure out what policies do you need to have in place. How can we help you with even your processes to make things run a little bit smoother? So we kind of help to identify those things, but you definitely need policies in place to help create some boundaries for behaviors. So definitely we talk about that in consultations as well.
Okay. So what size companies do you work with?
Oh, good question. So, it seems like our sweet spot or the majority of companies we've been servicing are small to mid-sized companies. And a lot of that comes from them growing and then realizing, hey, I don't have HR support. I really need some help putting some things in place. So we really help build those foundations. Um, but we also do a lot of project work with larger companies. So we talked about how do we assist HR teams. So we may come in and assist a larger organization with developing a performance management system. We may help them by managing their benefits administration so that they can focus on other parts of HR. So it depends on what the need is. So we kind of focus on the need versus the size of the client. And so if it's a need and we have the capability and skill set, we can service them.
Okay, so are you offering any services for individuals right now as well?
Yes. Yes, sorry, I'm so excited about that. We just started an individualized coaching service in at Essex Consulting, and the reason why I'm excited about it is we get to see sort of the return of our actions quicker, right? So you're seeing people blossom and grow. So our coaching is really based on helping people to be more reflective, helping them at whatever stage they are in their career to start looking at how might they be being perceived in their work environment, what changes in behaviors might they want to consider, what should they be focusing on if they want to move to a different level. So we help with that, and it's just been so rewarding to see individuals progress and to grow right before our eyes. So yeah, that's a new thing that we're doing. It's a great benefit for the individual, and it's a personal benefit for us.
I'm excited about this service as well. So can you just give us a little more insight on why it's important to seek coaching?
Oh, absolutely. Coaching is important because a lot of times we don't self-reflect. We may not see or realize how our behaviors may be perceived in the work environment. And so being able to help people reflect on that through a coach, because sometimes you need someone external, someone who's not within your organization to really help you sort through that. And we find that coaching is something that people need always. It doesn't stop when you reach a VP level. You still need coaching. And so there's a great benefit in always being able to self-reflect and focus on your own development.
Great. So how I'm going to get actually a little deeper into some specific services that we offer so we can really explain, the benefits of those services. So can you tell me how you help a company with their benefits planning?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, one of my passions is comp and benefits. And for a lot of leaders, even HR leaders, benefits is a part of the function that lots of people don't want to deal with, but we enjoy working in that area. And so, what we find is the having the ability that we have to work really closely with benefit brokers and help to translate some of that benefit speak to organizational leadership has been really helpful. We help leaders really figure out what are the best benefits for our employees. So we help sort through that and figure out the best package offerings for your employees. On the other side, we're also helping figure out how can you save costs and deliver that same level of benefits to your employees. So we're helping to bridge the cost and the commitment from the organization and the benefit to the employee. And because we enjoy doing it, a lot of companies are like, yes, please help us with that. It's not something that a lot of people find joy with. We also have really strong relationships with brokers in the industry. And that really helps because they see us more as partners, not as competition. And so we're really helping them effectively support the organization. So there's a benefit on that side as well.
Okay, I keep hearing these words support and collaborate, and I love it.
Right.
So what is an HR audit and an efficiency assessment?
Yes. So one of the things that we do really well, I'm really process oriented. And so one of the things that we do well is coming into an HR department and taking a look at their processes, their policies that are in place, their practices, and identify ways for them to build in efficiency. So how can we help you identify what parts of your process are kind of hanging things up? You know, are there approvals where there shouldn't be? Can we automate some part of that? So we really help to identify ways to make things a little bit more efficient in the HR function. The audit piece also comes with looking at compliance issues. So we want to make sure that you're handling your I-9 processes and E-Verify correctly. We want to look at your handbook and see, you know, is it outdated? Do we need to make some updates? So we look at all of that. It's a very detailed process. We look at all of your policies and procedures, and then we build a full plan on how you can attack kind of improving on your efficiencies and how you can update your policies. Then obviously we can help in any of those areas. If there's not a lot of time to kind of focus on fixing these things, we can come in and help fix them as well.
Okay, great. So can you now tell me, with that being said, what is risk mitigation?
Yes, I know you've asked that after seeing that on our website. And risk mitigation is really about how do we support organizations and minimize the level of risk. And when we talk about risk, it could be from employee filing lawsuits. It could be fines that they may have because they weren't following a certain process or protocol that's been established. And so we come in similar or sometimes as an output of that efficiency audit. There's some risk mitigation in there because we want to make sure that the company is protected, right? The other piece of risk mitigation also involves like crisis management. So we have some clients who have a vulnerable client base or have higher liability because people can get hurt and their customers can get hurt. So we help them kind of manage through communication process around that, helping them identify some contingency plans for dealing with certain issues. Again, looking at also some policies that they might need to put in place to ensure the safety of staff and of customers. So all of that comes into risk mitigation. And then the final piece, probably the one that's most known, is when companies have to lay off a certain number of employees or close a portion of their business. It's a very challenging time. And risk mitigation and bringing us in to help identify in a fair and consistent manner, coordinated with an employment lawyer, those decisions in terms of who's been identified for layoff, how do you process that paperwork, putting together those agreements, the entire process, we help organizations work through. We do it in a manner that's respectful for the employees because we understand the challenge involved from both sides. And so we come in and really help make that a process that we know is at least fair and consistent in how it's been delivered.
Okay, well, my last question that I want to ask you, now that we know a little bit more about the services, there's, been deeper explanation of especially that risk mitigation. I did see on the website, and I was like, you know what, people really might want to get some insight on what that means, what it really is, rather than just, seeing that we provide that service. So I want to know, how large is your team and how are you all able to assist these companies?
Absolutely. So I always start smiling when I think about my team because I have a great team. There's four of us in total, and our expertise ranges from 2 years to our consultants have 15 years or more or less, and then I've got over 25 years. So we've got a great range of expertise among our team, which allows us to do all the things I've been talking about and do it with excellence. What I'm so blessed about is the employees who work on our team are really focused on our values in such a way that it's just a seamless kind of execution, right? So that focus on excellence, the professionalism, all of that collaboration with our clients, we see all of that in our day-to-day activities. And I couldn't be happier with who I've selected as people to represent the company and to be on our team. So I'm really happy about that. And I'm also excited because we are a national team. We've got employees in different states, so it allows us to have a broader reach of clients and to really provide a level of support that's more detailed, that's more specific to state employment law. We have some experience in different states, and that really helps up the ante. So I'm just really proud of my team.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me a part of the team. So
So
that was the last one for me, the last question I
yes,
have for you, Stephanie.
and I have a question for you because you handle a lot of our recruiting services. So would you mind sharing how does that process work and talk a little bit about how you recruit for different clients?
So again, I get excited when I hear collaboration because that is something that we pride ourselves on, being that through collaboration can come great innovation. So I make sure that I collaborate with the hiring supervisor manager, and I really get a deeper look on what it is that they're looking for. What does the candidate look like in their mind? What do you want them to be capable of doing in their role? And so then after that, I compile a list of requirements and qualifications, and then I'm able to create a final job description. After I create that job description, I'm able to then use the multiple job sourcing websites. I'm also able to use social media now, which is really great because, I mean, social media just lets us get more involved and be able to tap into the community directly. So I'm able to source candidates from, many different pipelines. And then, once again, keeping the client in mind, what it is that they're looking for, I'm also keeping in mind what the candidate is looking for, because you want it to be a perfect match. You don't want it to just be, well, this is what the client needs, so I'm just going to look for that. But you want it to be a cohesive unit so that they're able to be successful once we let them go and do their own thing. So first, it's my job to source candidates. I do those first rounds of contact myself, which eliminates that grueling process for the hiring manager or CEO of a company. They don't have to worry about, talking to a number of candidates, searching through resumes and everything like that. I'm able to then whittle it down to a few candidates and have the best candidates that I think the client or supervisor would like, and then hopefully they find the winner and they're able to have a new employee. And
Awesome.
that's pretty much the process. I mean, there are a lot of steps I'm not really going into, just because it is filled with many different little steps, but I enjoy it because, once again, being able to, listen to what the client wants, listen to what the candidate is looking for, but then also using my own means of communication and always using empathy on both ends, just to understand what it is, so that I can make that perfect fit. So that's how that process looks.
And I think our clients appreciate that level of detail. So thank you.
Thank you.
So I also want to thank you for taking the time to let me talk about the company. Essex Consulting, we are very proud of our HR services. I also want to encourage people who are viewing this interview, if you're not quite sure if you need HR services, visit our website, see a little bit more about what we do, and schedule a consultation. We do free consultations to really discuss what your needs may be. So our website is www.essexconsulting.net. We always have updated information and articles out there. You can sign up for our newsletters. And also you can schedule a consultation with us. So we hope that you'll visit us, and we hope that you learned a lot today about Essex Consulting. So thanks for your time.